fundamental concept is that if you eat less than you're burning, you will lose weight.
And is that true?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
And I think that's what I want to touch upon, is that people are now overcomplicating it.
Uh-huh.
And now what's going around, like I see that a lot of the time, is that people question this concept, right? So they're like, oh, for me, maybe I'm eating 1,000 calories every day. I'm burning 2,500 calories, but I still can't lose weight. Something must be wrong. So I think at that point, it's important to kind of reflect back on yourself and think that you must be doing something wrong. The concept is there. That's never wrong. So I can guarantee you that if you are eating less than you're burning, you will drop weight 100%.
But that's also associated with not being satiated. So consistently staying hungry.
So that's
the stigma that brings up, because you might get any type of eating disorder just by the idea of, okay, if I'm not eating as much as I'm supposed to, therefore feeling hungry, I'm going to lose weight. And that's, I'm not sure if that's the healthiest approach.
I get it. That's true. But again, the concept is still there and it works, right?
Okay.
Obviously, if you're trying to lose weight while eating junk food and like processed foods, which are naturally higher on calories side, right? It'll be harder for you to lose weight, because then you can't eat that much volume of food, right? Let's give it some perspective. So let's say if I'm eating 1,500 calories, right? That could be maybe 3 different meals of 500 calories each, right? And that's if it's pretty clean food, if it's whole foods, if it's the general healthy food that we call it, right? Whereas if you just have one big junk food, right, meal, that itself could be 1,500 calories. So now there's 2 people. One's eating 3 meals a day, right? And the volume of food is pretty good. The other person's eating 1 meal a day. They're still both eating 1,500 calories. They still both drop the same amount of weight, but for one of them, it's significantly harder than the other one. So I think, again, what you're saying is right, and it's important. But what I find weird is that people question this concept. The concept is true, and it works, right? How you approach that weight loss and how you approach your diet, that could be different. So to come back to your first question, yes, eating in a calorie deficit is important, but you can do it smartly. You can have certain food choices that you can eat a lot of while not having that many calories.
Okay, so let's get a little bit specific about the situation. So imagine you're in your 30s, you don't have a certain performance goal. You don't want to become extremely buff like Sebum, or you don't want to become so fast like Cristiano Ronaldo or something. You just want to have a healthy diet and have a healthy body. So how would the distribution of macros and micros be? What are the do's and don'ts? Technically, very general.
Yeah, so very broadly, again, to get more specifics, we'll have to dig into what type of work do you do, how active you are on a day-to-day basis, right? But let's take it very broadly, right? I think first step is to kind of figure out what your maintenance could be. So maintenance calories are the amount of food that you eat and you stay the same weight. So you don't drop weight, you don't gain weight. Why that's important to know? Because that kind of gives you a baseline of where to begin, right? So what I would do is, for example, your weight is 200 pounds. A simple formula I like to use is just multiply that by 10 to 12. So somewhere in the 2,000 to 2,200 calories.
Okay.
That's a pretty good starting point. The issue is people don't know how to eat 2,000 calories.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
So they might think they're eating 2,000, but in reality, they're maybe eating 3,000, 3,500, right? And now they're gaining weight at 2,000 calories. So now, once again, they circle back and then they question the concept. So I think, yes, so to answer that question, yes, you just multiply that number by 10, 12, and you get your daily number of calories. That's a pretty good estimate that you're going to start losing weight. But it's important to know how to kind of get there and how to eat those many calories every single day. So that's calories. In terms of macros, what I would do is I would put your protein intake to whatever your goal weight is. So let's say you want to lose 20 pounds, you want to go down to 180 pounds. I would keep your protein intake to 1 or 0.8 times that weight. So for example, if you want to reach 180 pounds, just have 180 grams of protein to anywhere from 150 to 180 grams of protein every single day. That sounds a lot,
It does.
but
And
it's not.
expensive.
Yeah, it sounds a lot and expensive, but honestly, it's not that bad. Because people usually don't consider the protein they get from their dairy, protein from like their rice, their bread, right? So there's a lot of protein in like everything you eat. You just have to be kind of smarter with the choices you make. Having more meat sources, protein rich sources there, I think that could help. And again, you could always supplement with protein, right? Which is really cheap if you break the cost down into like daily costs. It might sound expensive to buy a lot of protein at once, but also consider how long you're going to use that for, right?
I see.